Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. This is Kathy. We are at installment part number 7 of our look back in time, almost 2.5 years ago, to the Affidavit of Probable Cause, which was signed and filed by Detective Payne. He is the lead investigator in the matter styled as Idaho versus Kohberger, and he signed the Affidavit of Probable Cause on December 29th, 2022. That document asked for and successfully obtained a warrant for Mr. Kohberger's arrest, which occurred the following day, December 30th, 2022. So we are now at page 15 of the affidavit. Our prior episodes are available on this YouTube channel. Please check the description of this installment to tell you where they're located. Page 15 begins with a depiction of a possible route based off of cellular device location is what this is described as. Underneath this depiction, the affidavit at page 15 reads as follows. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cell phone tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14th, 2022. But investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow on that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Based on my training experience and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe that Kohberger, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely the driver of the white Elantra that is observed departing Pullman, Washington, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, and the lack of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Kohberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple unalivings that occurred at the King Road residence. We will continue now on to page 16. It says here, on December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant for Kohberger's historical CSLI from June 23rd, 2022 to current, effective location information, and a pen, register, trap, and trace on the 8458 phone to aid in efforts to determine if Kohberger stalked any of the victims in this case prior to the offense, conducted surveillance on the King Road residence, and was in contact with any of the victim's associates before or after the alleged offense. Any locations that may contain evidence of the unalivings that occurred on November 13th, 2022, the location of the white Elantra registered to Kohberger, as well as the location of Kohberger. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received historical records for the 8458 phone from AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting with CAST, SA, that means Special Agent, ladies and gentlemen, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present, the time period authorized by the court. The records for the 8458 phone show that the 8458 phone, utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th, 2022. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. One of these occasions on August 21st, 2022. The 8458 phone utilized cellular resources providing coverage to the King Road residents from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Kohberger was stopped by Latah County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke, as mentioned above. The 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time, Farm Road and Pullman Highway. Further analysis of the cellular data provided showed the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022. Consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via U.S. Highway 195. And then at approximately 12:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular services that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand. That takes us to the bottom of page 16. The rest of that sentence goes into the top of page 17, which we will address in the next episode of this multiple part series entitled The House on King Road and the Affidavit of Probable Cause. But just a few points that I would like to stress here, ladies and gentlemen. Page 15, we see here is the first time that Detective Payne has officially stated that law enforcement believed Mr. Kohberger, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely the driver of suspect vehicle 1. We also see here Detective Payne's thinking for why the 8458 phone did not report to a network between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. being something that was intentional. The next page, we see the allegations that there was a possible concern of stalking. And then finally, we see the tie-in to a matter that was addressed earlier in this affidavit, the August 2022 traffic stop in Moscow of Mr. Kohberger by Sheriff's Deputy Duke. We are aware of at least 4 traffic stops of Mr. Kohberger from approximately mid-August to approximately mid-December. One time in Moscow, once in the vicinity or on the campus of Washington State University in Washington, and then twice in Indiana. All 3 body cams from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stop were long ago released to the public. This traffic stop in Moscow, August 21st, 2022, remains under seal. It has never been released to the public. This will now conclude this episode of our special multiple part series. Please be sure to join us for our next installment. Thank you.